We have a real tendency to over pull at the top of the harp. We don't have to put the same amount of force behind the top strings of our harp. So at the top of your harp, it's all the more important to bring the elbow out, particularly in the right hand, so that your fingers can pull nicely into your palm to create that lovely sound. The first thing is, do not over pull the top strings of your harp. We have a real tendency to over pull at the top of the harp. We don't have to put the same amount of force behind the top strings of our harp. So often we're over pulling and it makes not such a nice sound. My second tip is arm positioning. So if you're at the top of your harp and you have got T-Rex hands like this, then you're not going to be able to pull your fingers nicely into your palm and create a beautiful rounded sound. So elbows out. I say this often, that sometimes people, I think, overdo the elbows out thing, especially in the middle of their harp, and they end up very kind of like this, and it's over the top, especially on a lever harp. But you do have to adjust as you move up your harp, and your elbows have to come more out at the top of your harp. So if I was playing in the middle of my harp and I just wasn't thinking about it, my elbows would probably be about here. Okay? That feels really good. My elbows are not in my body, they are slightly out, but they're also not completely out at a 90 degree angle, 180, whatever degree that is. They're not sticking out. However, when I move up my harp, and in particular this arm, and I'll turn around and show you in a second how it looks. If I have my elbow at this position, and I actually keep my elbow at the same position when I move up my harp, what's actually happened is I've now got a bend like this in my wrist. So at the top of your harp, it's all the more important to bring the elbow out, particularly in the right hand, so that your fingers can pull nicely into your palm to create that lovely sound. So when I'm here, compared to when I'm here, okay, there's a slight adjustment in order to keep those wrists straight and bring the fingers into the palm, plus don't overplay. To demonstrate what happened with my elbows, when I was in the middle of my harp, my elbows were about here. And when I moved up my harp, okay, my elbows have to come out. If they stay in, if I have my elbows here in the middle of my harp and I keep my elbows in that position, do you see what happens to my hands? They're now bent. So my fingers naturally start to come in higher and make a tinny sound, a thin sound. But here I can pull them right into my palm nicely as I move up my harp. It doesn't even feel like my elbows are adjusting, to be honest with you. It actually feels like I'm keeping them at the same kind of angle. Instead of like this. Like this. Okay? So that's my 2 tips for you.